bhavatu Sahano bhunaktu Saha viryam karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Samasta Janakalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Okay, all right. So please keep your video on so I can also see you. It's a treat for me to also see you in the evening. Today, we are going to reflect upon the word Pushti Vardhanam. So we are re-reflecting Om Trayambakam, Om, that truth, Trayambakam, with Bhagavan Shiva with 3 eyes, Yajamahe, we worship that Shiva, who is Sugandhim, who is fragrant, full of good, great, amazing qualities. And why do we worship Bhagavan Shiva? Because he's Pushti Vardhanam. He's the one that nourishes our growth. Today, I will be reflecting on this. When we think of someone who nourishes our growth, there is one person who comes to mind for all of us. Definitely our parents, definitely our grandparents, our siblings. Today, we will reflect on Guru. Bhagavan Shiva always has an eye on his devotees or his to-be devotees. Once in a forest in Darukavana, there were these materialists who were performing lots of rituals. And they were performing lots of rituals because they wanted personal gains. They wanted more money, more wealth, more power. They wanted themselves to be so great. And it was all for selfish gains. And so they all performed this huge yaga or this ritual. And all of them were together performing it. And Lord Shiva said, I think they need to learn a lesson. They feel like they can just keep doing this in life, do actions and get results, do actions and get results for selfish means. They're going to be stuck in this whole cycle. Although in one way it's good because they are active and they are doing something, still they should not consider this the end. And while they were performing the yagas, all their wives were making sure that they had everything for their yagas. And so they were in their homes. And so Bhagavan Shiva said, I think we need to do a team Leela. I think we need to do a tag team Leela. He tells Bhagavan Vishnu because he says, look, we have the husbands and we have the wives, and we need to teach both of them a lesson. So let's do a tag team Leela. So he tells Lord Vishnu, you go as your Mohini avatar. And you know, Mohini avatar is this very beautiful woman. He says, you go as Mohini avatar to all those karmis, to all those ritualists, and you lure them. And let's see if they keep performing their ritual after they see you. And I will go as a beggar, but a very handsome beggar. I will go to all of the wives and let's see if they can continue to pay attention to all the materials that are needed for the yaga. And so Bhagavan Vishnu and Bhagavan Shiva came to that Darukavana, that forest. And lo and behold, those Karamis were performing the ritual. Once they saw this beautiful Mohini avatar, they were taken aback and they could not continue their ritual. They just left everything and wanted to follow this Mohini avatar. And finally, this Mohini avatar disappeared somewhere. And they realized they were tricked. And they went to go to their wives, and the wives were busy with Bhagavan Shiva. And they said, what's going on? And they were so angry. They said, this is not fair. We were tempted away from our ritual. And so they tried and tried to defeat Lord Shiva. But when they realized he couldn't be defeated, they said he must be somebody special. And Lord Shiva revealed his identity. And he said, this, what you are doing, is not enough. There is something more you need to learn about life, and that is called self knowledge. And so Bhagavan Shiva gave them the teaching of self knowledge. And that teaching is encapsulated by Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi Ji in this text called Upadesha Sara, the essence of the teaching. So, very beautifully, Lord Shiva, just to teach us a lesson, comes as an avatar, just to show us that there's something more than the actions we perform. What does this episode tell us? This episode tells us that everyone starts with what we call trying to change the outside. We start to live lives and think that only if the outside were good, we will be good. Only if now we could all meet in person, we would be relaxed. Only if my children could go to school, we would be relaxed. Only if everything was peaceful or if I could finally travel, we will be relaxed and happy. And we start with this notion that we want to change somebody else. We want to change the time, the place, the circumstance. We want to change everything outside of us. But as we evolve, we realize we cannot change without, because we don't have control. So we start to change within. But when we start to change within, there's a catch. Sometimes we do it for very selfish purposes. And so we work a little harder so we can gain more comforts for ourselves. We put in more hours so we can gain more money for ourselves. We do so many things so that we can be recognized. So we're not changing outside anymore, but we're changing within, but for very selfish reasons. And so Bhagavan says this is not okay. The third step or evolution is when we change within, but for selfless purposes. And we change within, we want to make ourselves better, not because we want more material things or fame or pleasure, but because we want to know God. We want to see God. We want to feel God. We want to be with God. And so we change within. We try to do more spiritual practices. We try to perform more austerities. We try to chant because we want to change within and behold that vision of God. In Lord Shiva, as the Guru says, this is very wonderful. If somebody who's reached the third stage, that is beautiful. But then Lord Shiva takes us a little bit deeper. Once we have reached the acme of purity, he says, stop trying to change. Know that you are the changeless self. Knowing that we are the changeless self amidst all of the change, that is called the gift of self-knowledge. And that is what Guru gives. So the Guru lifts us up from trying to change outer things to trying to change ourselves for selfish purposes, to trying to change ourselves for selfless reasons to know God. But once we reach the acme, the Guru tells us, stop trying to change. Everything around you will change. But know you are the changeless self. And this is how the Guru nourishes our growth. In our Guru Stotram, we have a very, very beautiful verse. It's my favorite verse in the entire Guru Stotram, where it says, Naguror adhikam tattvam. There's no greater truth than the Guru. Why? Because the Guru embodies that very truth in how they live. In our tradition, a Guru is Shrotriya and Brahmanishta, one who's able to communicate the knowledge, but one who's also able to live this knowledge. And we are blessed with such gurus, our Guru Parampara, who is like that. So there is no greater truth than the Guru because the Guru is truth personified. The Guror Adhikam Tattvam, the Guror Adhikam Tapaha. And there's no greater austerity than surrendering to the Guru. Because only when we surrender the Guru, the teaching will be given. Otherwise, if we don't ask, if we think we know everything, we don't seek, then we will never know. Imagine if Arjuna would never surrender. That would be very difficult. We would never have the Bhagavad Gita. So, the Guror Adhikam Tattvam, the Guror Adhikam Tapaha. And what does the Guru give us? Tattva Jnanam Param Nasti. There's no greater, nothing higher than the knowledge of the self. The Guru gives us that knowledge of the self, knowing which we are ever free. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. And to that Guru, we prostrate. So today, when we chant our japa, let's contemplate, let's reflect on Lord Shiva as Guru. He himself is the Adi Guru. He's the Adi Guru. He has come as Dakshinamurti. He has come as Adi Shankaracharya Ji. He has come as Hanuman Ji. He has come as our whole lineage of Gurus. So let us think about him in that